Hi. Like I told you before, this is my review for this unit. To compensate that some of my recordings, you cannot hear my voice. Okay, so this review is only for helping you to get easier to get to the point. So I will not explain each pages like in the class. It will take too long. So I'm just gonna go to each point that is needed. So the first things first, okay? Oh man, it's not, okay, there we go. So in here, we have what we call as keywords. I already told you before too, um, these keyword is important. These keywords, okay? There are 4 keywords for each unit. So in this unit, all of the keywords is talking about the disasters, the natural disasters. So if you want to see the list, it's at the front of your book. It's in the page list for each unit. There will be some keywords in there, and it's already included in there for all of the keywords. So please try to read that. Okay, I'm not encouraging you to memorize all of them. It will not be good, but try to just read and then think what it is look like. If you think that maybe not really, I mean, maybe that is, you don't know really much about it, try to Google it. That's what internet is for. Okay, let's move on about the reading strategy. Okay, we studied about graphic sources. So those are charts, maps, and diagrams. It will make information easier to see and understand. The reason why we need to use these graphic sources is because most of the time we rarely read the text. We just see the pictures. That's how our brain works. We prefer pictures and movies rather than texts and reading. And that is the best way to study too. But we need reading, because without reading, we cannot know how to write. That's also important. We cannot let that go away. So try to find out more about graphic sources in the pictures. Maybe when you're reading about something, about an article, you could try to find out about this. Usually in the newspaper, they have a lot of these. Okay, now you already read about the savage earth and all those pages. Well done, that's great. We already also done this one. That's great, really good. Now let's move on to our tense, to our grammar. This is a passive voice. We cannot say that it's the same like the perfect tense. It's obviously totally different. So passive voice is like making the object into the subject. Well, the subject into the object. So it's the other way around. I already told you in class too. In Bahasa Indonesia, we usually use mekan for active and then dikan for passive. That's easy. But this English, no, this is not easy. Now, how can we know if it's a present simple? Because of the two B's, okay? Because of the two B's. What are the two B's? The is MR. We know it's present simple. If it's not is MR, if it's on, for example, was and were, that is a past simple or the past passive voice. Now let's focus on the present simple passive voice, okay? So we use the passive voice when we want to focus on what is happening and not on who or what is doing the action. So that means we want to focus on the not on the subject, but focus on the object. That's why we change the place. We put buildings, the object, at the front. We don't know in this sentence buildings are demolished because they aren't safe, We don't know who did it or what did it. It doesn't matter. What we want to know is what happened to the building. That's why we use the passive voice. It is in the past tense. It is also in the perfect tense. Is it confusing? It is. Passive voice is the most confusing tense that I have ever teach, but it's fine. You can do it. Okay? I'm not trying to force you, but at least try your best to understand about it. At least just understand. You don't need to memorize it. So the key for this passive voice is the object is at the front. And then we use the to be and then using the verb tree. Okay? Always like that. The object, to be, verb tree. Object, to be, verb tree. Okay? It's passive. Passive, we need to use the verb tree. Okay? Now let's move on to the next one, which is about oracy. Now, it's about active listening. When you talk with someone, and then when you want to be an active listener, you make eye contact, and then you try to show that you are interested with someone, what they're saying. Not interested with someone like you like them, no, but interested because of what they are talking about. Okay, that's different. That's different. Okay, so you will try to pay attention. You don't want to be busy by yourself, and that is active listening. And then we talk about writing, about news. Okay, you've tried it. I'm not asking you to write the newspaper. It will take so long to make it. So, no, I just don't want you to do that. But there are quotation marks. Now, quotation marks usually show words that are spoken. Like in here, the example, the flood caused a lot of damage, comma, quotation mark, Principal Young said. So the quotation mark needs to be at the beginning of the sentence that someone speak and at the end of the sentence. Why is it comma? Because it's someone said something. It's not, you're not allowed to put it in full stop unless you use Principal Young said, comma, quotation mark, the flood caused a lot of damage. Full stop, quotation mark. If you go the other way around, that's fine. Okay, let's move on. We skipped this one, okay? Because I think you already know how to do it. And then I gave you the task to read this one. Yeah. You've done it well. Thank you very much. And you've answered that one. Thank you very much. Now let's go back to the grammar. Okay. With to and enough. To, when you are using to, okay, it is talking about comparative amounts. It's something that you compare things about. But when you're using to, you're using something that is more or less. Okay. If the sentence is negative, that means it's less. If the sentence is positive, that means it's more. Like in here, I ate too much cake and too many cookies. But we can change it into I didn't eat too much cake and too many cookies. See? Because of the sentence from positive to negative, that means it become different thing. When you said I ate too much cake, that means you already full a lot. But if you said I didn't eat too much cake, that means you still want to eat more. See the difference? Enough is, well, you already know about enough. So enough is everything is in balance. That's it. You don't need to add more. You don't need to make it less. That is enough. That is the second grammar. See? Fast. And we've also done this one, okay? And also the orasi performance task. So that's it. Actually, the review is really short because that's all that I could give. And that's all there is to it. This is hard for me, you know? I'm gonna miss you all. Okay. That's it for the review. I already promised to deliver the review, and I do. And I did. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.